Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World, the Black Business School. And I wanted to say hello to everybody. Come on in the chat. If you haven't come into the chat, come on in because we got a real interesting conversation for today. This involves Mr. R. Kelly. Mr. R. Kelly, in case you don't know, R. Kelly is now in jail over a bunch of ridiculous shit that he allegedly did over the last 25 years. I don't know if I believe all of it, but I believe enough of it that I think that he needs he probably he needs a little jail time. He needs some therapy. He needs Jesus and a whole lot more. Anyway, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please do that. Also, if you're on Facebook, please share it to your page. If you're on Instagram, please tell your friends that we're doing the damn thing. My Instagram is The Real Boyce Watkins. So if you haven't joined us on Instagram, go to The Real Boyce Watkins. So anyway, what's going on? Good news. Sorry. Cynthia, Craig, K-Dub, Darlene Clark, T. Khalik. What's going on, man? How you doing? Hey, healing and recovery. They call me Rika. What's going on? All right. So here's the topic for today. I'm gonna really get to it because you got the Negroes out here with short attention spans and want you to hit the topic in 30 seconds or less. So this is for the Negroes with short attention spans, the people that want the breakdown. You can stay for the breakdown, but those who don't want the breakdown, I'm gonna give it to you real quick so you can go on about your day. R. Kelly's girlfriend. Anybody remember Jocelyn Savage? Give me a yes or no in the chat if you remember Jocelyn Savage. Jocelyn Savage was one of the young ladies that was sitting with him during that crazy interview with Gayle King, which was an absolute mess. He kind of lost it in front of everybody, and it was just sort of it was pretty crazy to watch. Does anybody remember Jocelyn Savage? Give me a yes or no if you remember Jocelyn Savage. Jocelyn, okay, let me see. I see Nikki says yes. Frederick, oh yeah. Yvonne, yes. Miss Johnson says yup. Okay, good. Let's see. I see somebody saying there's no sound, doctor. If you can hear me and you can see me, say yes. Just hear me. If you can hear me, see me, say yes. If you cannot hear me and see me, just don't say anything. All right. So that way I'll know if I see nothing, then I'll know you can hear. Okay. K Dub says she can hear me. All right. I see Omar and Allison. Okay. Good. All right. So here's what I found on the internet, and this is really fascinating to me. Basically Jocelyn Savage. This is predictable, right? This is totally predictable. Jocelyn Savage has finally turned on R. Kelly. Basically, she's now calling herself a victim of R. Kelly after standing by him for a very long time, after riding with him forever and ever. Allegedly, she claims she's 24 now, and she says it was because he promised her a career. And so she puts on Instagram that she is going to now go get money somewhere else. I guess Mr. Kelly was providing money, but a dude who's in jail ain't so good at paying the bills. And basically she is now running a Patreon account, which basically a type of fundraiser, almost like a GoFundMe, to get money so she can tell her story and basically put him on blast. It's really fascinating to watch the responses on the internet because the responses range from fully supportive, like you go girl, go tell your truth girl, do your thing girl, to okay, what's wrong with you? Like people been telling you about this dude for years. You wasn't listening when the checks stopped coming in, then suddenly you're a victim too. Suddenly, you're jumping the fence to the victim side. And it's interesting to see that. Now, first of all, actually, if you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please hit the thumbs up button and the notification bell. If you haven't done that yet, please do that. If you're on Facebook, please share it to your page. Everybody hit the thumbs up button real quick. If you do that, I appreciate it. Now, I want to ask you guys this question. Give me a yes or no. Yes or no? Let me frame this question properly because I'd actually like to do a survey because I'd like to know what you guys think on this. Yes or no? Do you see Jocelyn Savage as a victim? Yes or no? Or do you see her as a person who just made who chose a bad boyfriend, like a lot of us have? A lot of us have chosen to date people that we regretted later. Do you see her as a victim? Okay, Malik says no. Bianquita says yes. Naisha says no. Omar no. Frederick no. Dream Chaser no. Tiffany no. Chris Walters he says black women no loyalty. That ain't true. There's plenty of loyal black women out here. All right. The hoes ain't loyal, but the black women are. All right. So all the black women in the building, if you're loyal, shout it out. Say I'm loyal. To let these guys know there's some loyal women out here. Okay. I see some hell no's. I see hell fucking no. I see no, hell no. All right. So I see a lot of no's. But I do see some yeses in there. I see some people that feel that she too is a victim like R. Kelly or like R. Kelly's other alleged victims, whatever the case may be. And I find that really interesting. Now, I looked on Instagram to see what people were saying on Instagram because I like to know what people think as I'm forming my own opinion. And Noma Langa, I see Noma Langa Mushali Moses is in here from Fly New Being Queen. And Noma, I actually want to have you on at some point because I'd like to ask you if you think that she's a victim. So basically, according to the article that I have in front of me, now this is Fox News, so take it with a grain of salt. But I'll just read the one that's in front of me. It says, Jocelyn Savage, who was one of R. Kelly's girlfriends and has been living with him since she was 19 years old. Let me turn this stupid thing off. Has spoken out on social media for the first time in 2 years. The aspiring singer, now 24, posted a series of images on Instagram promoting her side of the story. She's working with Patreon, a subscription-based content service where I will post daily chapters of my story. So it sounds like she's going to kind of do what R. Kelly did when he released that album. I guess he had the album where it's like he was trapped in the closet, whatever that means, right? Well, we know what it usually means, right? So I think it probably meant what it really meant, and or what we thought it meant. And she's basically monetizing her story. And I imagine the reason she's monetizing her story is because wherever she was getting her money before, she's not getting that money anymore. Because R. Kelly, from what I've just seen, it looked like the brother is struggling financially, which is really sad because he's been singing for a long time and he has been putting out albums. He sold millions of albums. And I'm really just trying to figure out how you can put out millions of albums and be broke like that. I just don't get it. But then again, though, that's what that negativity culture does to us. That's what it does. And I'm encouraging you guys, don't fall into that stupid culture of throwing your money away, because if you do that, if you get yourself engaged in that culture, you will end up broke. You see, because that backward culture, what you're learning from hip hop in terms of what you do with your money, that is a culture that leads people to being broke. This man, R. Kelly, used to have millionaires at his house. There was a time I remember Antoine Walker, another guy who ran through $110 million because he loved the strip clubs and gambling and giving his money away and everything else. Didn't love investing. Didn't want to listen to people like me. Like, I went to school with Antoine. He had me available. He could have called me up and said, "Hey, Doc, I'm about to come into the NBA. I'm going to be making $8 million a year. I need help. Help me manage my money." I'd be like, "Okay, bro, here's some basic things you can do that will allow you to be good until your great grandkids are old," right? Like, I can set you up for the next 200 years. Just do these basic things, and after that, you can take the rest and burn it. You can burn through 80% of your money, but let me just tell you what to do with this last 20%. And with this last 20%, that means like about 1.6 million out of the 8 million you're gonna make next year. I can make sure that you're good for life, right? And so R. Kelly used to hang out with Antoine Walker, from what I understood. Antoine, another guy who went broke. No disrespect to Antoine, but again, it's that culture. It's that bad economic culture. I'm telling you, stop disagreeing with me on this, because I know what I'm talking about. This bad economic culture led both of these guys who had all the money in the world, all the power in the world, all the opportunity in the world. It's all gone now, right? And I remember hearing about how, because everybody want to live the baller life. Everybody want to be a baller, shot caller, right? And so they would, Antoine Walker would hang out with Michael Jordan, and they would go to R. Kelly's house and play basketball. So you were hanging out with guys like, Michael Jordan, Antoine Walker, and others. Michael Jordan's still good. I guess he just makes so much money that even with the gambling and all that, he's straight. But these guys used to hang out with you, man. And I feel bad for this brother, because you had people around you who were kind of like the Black Warren Buffetts of our generation. They had all the money that a person could ever want. And for some reason, he's in jail and can't even pay the bail, man. It's just kind of sad. Makes me very sad. So anyway, let me dig into Jocelyn Savage and read more of this story. So Jocelyn, according to this article that I'm reading here, it says, according to the Daily Beast, she posted her first story on Saturday, which is behind a paywall. So you got to pay. If you want to see it, you got to pay. And she revealed how she met R. Kelly in 2015 at one of his concerts. So she's not releasing the story for the benefit of the public. She's releasing it for the benefit of her wallet. We know that, right? But it does not mean the story's not legit. I would imagine anybody who spent a significant amount of time around R. Kelly probably has a story to tell. And in fact, when you're around any celebrity, you have a story to tell and maybe even a story to sell. And I know this to be true in the sense that even the littlest things about a celebrity can be interesting to people that will pay to hear that story, right? So that's why a lot of times, even myself, like I'm not a big name celebrity, nothing like that, but people know who I am, right? So sometimes if I see somebody that looks, gold diggerish, gold diggerish people. They got kind of like yellow tinge in their skin, and they kind of smile a lot. They, when I see somebody that's gold diggerish, I'll say keep that person at a distance, because I'm not trying to give them a story to tell. I don't want them to have a Boyce Watkins story that they can go tell. I talked to Dr. Boyce about where the bathroom was, and he said that he don't like to use dirty bathrooms, right? Whatever, right? People will take any story and they will go use that. They'll tell that story forever, right? So a lot of times there are celebrities who will keep people away because they don't want them to have a story to tell. Well, Jocelyn Savage was right there in his, in his space, and she was one of the last holdouts, her and the other young lady. I felt bad for them. I felt bad for the family. I feel bad for everybody. I feel like R. Kelly needs therapy. He needs some prison time. He needs white Jesus, black Jesus, and baby Jesus to all come together to help him out. The family, I felt bad for the young ladies, because clearly they were young and stupid, like a lot of young people are. A lot of young people make dumb decisions when it comes to relationships. Is anybody in here between the ages of 19 and 24 made a bad choice in a relationship? Has anybody, raise your hand if you dated somebody between 19 and 24 where you're almost ashamed to even admit that you were stupid enough to date that person? Raise your hand if you're in that category, right? So there's a lot of us, right, that make dumb relationship choices. There's a lot of us that make bad decisions. And I think the difference is that the thing that makes, the thing that I think gets to me on this is that, when I made those bad decisions and I got screwed, I'm talking about royally screwed, there wasn't anywhere I could really go to say I was a victim. Look at what she did to me. I'm going to take my story. I'm going to sell it. I want y'all to go to her house and lock her up for crimes of the heart. She broke my heart. She lied to me. She said that she's going to be there forever, and she wasn't. And, and I think that it's really, so I almost honestly feel in this situation, I'm not going to say she's not a victim, but I think that when a person is over the age of 18, it almost seems to me that we have to make a decision. Either you are a free thinking person that makes your own choices and have responsibility for those choices, or you're too stupid to make your own choices. You're too young and dumb and controllable and easily manipulated. Like I didn't have that. I couldn't waver back and forth between free man and victim, free man, victim, free man, victim, right? Like every time I do something well, I get to take credit for this. This is what in psychology, they call that self-attribution bias. Self-attribution bias is when something goes good in your life and you say, I did it. It was all me because I'm empowered. I make good decisions, y'all. I'm the man, right? But when something bad happens, you turn and you're like, it wasn't my fault. It was their fault. They manipulated me. They did me wrong. They did me dirty. Look at what they did. They tricked me. I got fooled. They played with my head. They manipulated my mind, my fragile little, weak little, feeble little mind, right? Now, we know that R. Kelly obviously has a special charm on the ladies, right? Like any tall, handsome man who can sing very well, who's got a lot of money in his account, that's an aphrodisiac. Just like a lot of men have fallen victim to a big butt and a smile, right? Cardi B was out, drugging, robbing, and actually kind of raping men, right? Using trannies to rape men because they were suckers for a big butt and a smile. They were hypnotized by the booty. You ever seen? You know what I'm talking about? They made jokes about it. There was a Saturday Night Live skit about that was really funny when Nicki Minaj was on there and her butt was sticking out, and the man was like, I hate her and she's so mean to me, but I love the booty. I love the booty, right? So men get hypnotized by the booty. Come on, like if you like a nice, black woman's booty, raise your hand. It's okay. It's okay to admit that. Like we can talk about booties here. It's okay. We can still be intelligent people and admit that black women are sexy, right? Raise your hand. Okay. And I think, and I'll tell you this, I probably wouldn't, again, maybe men and women are different. Maybe women are easily manipulated and men are not. I don't know. Maybe that's the assumption people want to make. But I would not on any level, if a man told me, well, she did me dirty, and the reason that I fell for it was because she was, she promised me that she was gonna, do this for me and do that for me, and I went for it, and then she did me wrong. I would kind of still say to him, there's reasons why nobody would date that woman. Like like R. Kelly. Like there's reasons why a lot of women wouldn't date R. Kelly. Like let me ask you guys a question. Survey, yes or no? How many of you, if you met R. Kelly 5 years ago? Ladies can answer this question. How many of you, if R. Kelly came up to you and he's looking good and tall and sexy and he's singing to you, he's like, hey girl, I think you're beautiful, right? And he walks up and he's getting out the Benz and he's sharp dressed and he's looking good, he's glistening, and he comes up and says, hey girl, would you like to go out with me for dinner tonight? Right? How many of you, yes or no, how many of you, knowing R. Kelly's reputation, would say yes, would go out with him, would think that was like a good idea? How many of you, and some of y'all might be freaks, so it's okay. It's all right to be a freak. If you're a freak, that's okay. You can admit that too. How many of you would have said yes? How many black women in here would go out with R. Kelly? Somebody said, unless I'm gay. well, you know, even if the answer might be yes, I would say if you're in your right mind, the answer would be no, right? And there's a lot of women who would say no, right? And it's because they understand that there are dangers associated with being around this man, right? Not just the fact that, you know, I'm not talking bad about him, but not just the fact that he, you know, could easily have every STD in the book, but also because, you know, he's got this reputation, all these things surround him, this bad energy is in his life. And so when you see a woman that says, oh, well, but I was the one who went and dated him, I think the first question is why? And I think the next question is, well, did anybody warn you? Like, did anybody tell you? Like, did anybody talk to you and say, you know, you might want to reconsider. You might want to find another man. And if the answer was no, like if you chose to date him anyway, even though a lot of women would have said no, what was the driving factor behind that, right? What was the driving factor? Oh, because he promised me a career. Okay, I can get that. That's cool. Some people really want to be singers, right? But here's the problem, right? Nobody really owes you a career. Nobody owes you, or he promised me money, right? But nobody owes you money. Nobody owes you a career. I mean, some people may owe you money, but you know, most people don't owe you money. They don't owe you a career. They don't owe you anything, right? And so if you come back and you say, well, the reason I let him mislead me is because he kept promising me a career, then some people, I'm not saying that this is the decision you should make. Everybody can have their own opinion on this. I promise you. I have no stake in what your opinion is. I just want you to think and process things so you can make good decisions. Most people are going to say, okay, I get it. You went for the bag and it didn't work out. Now sit on the sideline and just take it like you know, take it like a woman, take it like a grown ass woman. Don't divert yourself back to, you know, a child, you know, an easily manipulated child because it didn't work out. Because if it had worked out, you might be talking a lot of shit right now. You might be saying, well, look, I loved him and our love withstood everything. And I stood by this man and he's a great man and this, that, and the other, right? You would have that narrative, right? But because whatever happened, suddenly the narrative is, yeah, he's evil, he's terrible, he's manipulative. I'm going to go jump over in the victim's line. All the same women I used to talk shit about, all the women I used to dog out, you know, and discredit, I'm going to go jump on their side because I know that now that's the profitable team to play for, right? I'm going to call Gloria Allred. You know, the same way you had another example would be like Omarosa with Donald Trump. Omarosa rode for Donald Trump. I believe Omarosa had a very special relationship with Donald Trump. I believe that the relationship was more special than anybody in the public will ever know. I believe Donald Trump, like a lot of us, you know, just falls for the beauty of the black woman. And Omarosa, she might be a bitch, but she ain't ugly, right? And suddenly, so you ride with Donald Trump. That's your guy. This is your team. This is your side, right? And then suddenly, whatever happened. And then suddenly you have a whole new reality. Like, oh, one day I suddenly woke up and realized that Donald Trump was a big, dirty, racist idiot. Like, I suddenly realized this after 10 years of listening, of hanging on his every word and watching his every action and going with him everywhere. Suddenly I realized he's a bad person. And now I want to go join the side of the people that were criticizing me all those years. I don't really know if people should be allowed to switch like that. And I'm going to tell you like this too. Here's another thing that's interesting. Now, for these young ladies, maybe it's not the case because they're 24. Remember, I mean, I'm going to tell you, when I was 23, 24, 22, I thought I was smart, but I wasn't. If you're under 24, just know, I'm just going to tell you, you're probably, with 10 years from now, you're going to look at yourself and realize how stupid you are. Not that you're stupid in general. You might be brilliant. You might be, when I was 22, I taught college at 22. I wasn't a stupid kid, right? But just know when you're 22, 23, 10 years from now, you're going to look back and be like, damn, I was stupid, right? I'm not calling you stupid. I'm just saying you're going to call yourself stupid 10 years from now, right? But so we got to remember the age, right? You have to give some leeway for the fact that these are young women, easily impressionable, etc. But at the same time, I think that there are a lot of people who are making the very basic argument to say that there's a thing called personal responsibility. Also, one thing I'll tell everybody in my perception is that how you take accountability for your good and bad choices is a reflection of you. Right? Like if you ever want to look really flaky, if you ever want to look like a flaky person who doesn't know what they want, here's what you do. Go fall in love with something or someone and go hard for that thing. Like go and just, pursue that thing like nobody's business, and just tell everybody that this is what you love, or this is the person that you're with, and I'll ride or die for that person. Fight anybody who talks bad about that person, and then a year later become that person's enemy, and literally contradict every single thing you said about that person when you first met them. Literally contradict yourself. Like in 2019, you love him, you think he's great, or you think she's amazing, and then 2020, she's the biggest bitch ever, and you're convincing the world that she's a horrible bitch. So you went from convincing everybody that this woman is amazing to trying to convince the world that she is the absolute devil. I don't really know if that makes you look so good, because that would make people lose credibility with you the next time you try to bring somebody else along and you tell your family, hey, I met the girl of my dreams. They're gonna be like, yeah, well, Teresa was the girl of your dreams until she pissed you off, until she wasn't giving you no more ass, or until she disappointed you, and then suddenly she became the devil. So this one will probably turn into the devil too, because we don't believe you anymore, right? Like, anybody have a friend like that gets married and they make you go through all this shit to get ready for the wedding? I had a friend that did that, and he made me go through all this damn shit to get ready for his wedding. I didn't even want to be in the wedding, man. I was like, damn, man, I gotta go buy a suit. I gotta go travel. This is when I was like young. I was like 28, 29. And I had to go to this dude's wedding. And literally they were married for like 9 months. So then 2 years later, he's trying to get married again. I'm like, I'm not coming to another wedding, man. Like, you told me 2 years ago that you were gonna be with this person forever, and now she's like last week's lunch meat. So I don't take you seriously anymore. Like, if you have a perspective, you got to stick to it. So what this might mean is this, right? If you love somebody and you think they're amazing, if things don't work out, and then you're talking to people about that person, it probably makes you look a little more mature when you simply say, you know what, she was a good person, it just didn't work out. Right? That's how you handle things when you're more mature. When you're young, you go into this like, I love you, I hate you, I love you, I hate you type stuff. But it really is a huge contradiction. So I think that with going back to the R. Kelly thing, I just think it really it's just a bad look. I think a lot of people see it, a lot of people on the Instagram, and I think they're kind of mean. They're kind of beating up on her a little bit, and I'm not a fan of that. But it's kind of like, like the next man that she picks, first of all, the next man that she picks is going to have the unfortunate burden of knowing that the woman he's with spent 2 years sleeping, being R. Kelly's alleged, sex slave, whatever they want to call it, right? Like, you were R. Kelly's woman for all those years. I'm not, like, y'all know, man. I mean, you got to call the Centers for Disease Control up in that bitch. Like, just being real, seriously. Like that's just not a good look for you, right? Seriously. Or a woman who's one of Future's baby's mamas. Like, Future gets around. Like, there's a whole conversation about Lori Harvey, Steve Harvey's daughter, like, having his baby. I hope that's not true. I hope that's not true. Somebody sent me that. I was like, what? But it's just kind of like, who you're with now affects. If somebody's really a thoughtful person, they're not gonna want to be with somebody who's coming with the baggage of having depleted themselves by being with somebody that they don't respect on any level, right? Like, for example, ladies, like, how do you feel about a man if you date him and he tells you, oh, I slept with 500 strippers back when I used to be a porn star? Like, is that gonna bother you at all, or are you just gonna act like it's water under the bridge? Like, how are you gonna feel? Right? You'd probably be like, no, like, like, no, I'm not. No, we can't. It just ain't gonna happen, right? So I think that with her, I wish her the best moving forward. I think that she, obviously, I guess, she made a mistake, but this was completely predictable. It's not as if anybody thought they were going to be together forever. And here's the other thing too: when a man like him starts to go down, usually the women around him disappear. They scatter. Because women don't want to be around a man who ain't got no more power, no more money, no more resources. And it seems to me that basically, this is all about her career. She mentions her career quite a bit in terms of saying, like, oh, yeah, he promised me my career was going to do something. And then they're like, well, why would you let him treat you like that? She's like, well, because he just threatened to take away my career. So if that's a reason for you to continue to be in a relationship with a man because he's threatening to take your career, that's not the same as somebody threatening to take your life, right? A career is something that, in Hollywood, let's just be real. You got to educate your kids on this stuff about, choices, right? In Hollywood, I'm gonna tell you like this straight up. There's the easy way to get the career, and there's the hard way to have a career. And a lot of your most famous celebrities out here, a lot of people that that are household names, got their career the easy way. Let me just say that. They got their career by just saying, where's the casting couch at? How do I do where's the real audition going to be held? I'm not trying to say it's what you should do. That's why I don't really want, we got a little girl in the house that wants to be an actress and a singer and all that, and we don't want to go into Hollywood. If she does make movies, I'm like, I'll make a movie and you can be in my movie and I'll make sure you make money. I don't want you in Hollywood because I know how they roll. I know how they rock. People, and this is actually not even just as devious as you might think. This is human nature. People tend to take care of people that they're attracted to, right? If a man's sleeping with a woman and she was an actress, and there's a woman he's not sleeping with who's also an actress, and they're both competing for the same job, the woman he's sleeping with is going to look at him and be like, who's going to get the job, right? Because she knows she's got that power. Like, if she gets the job, you try to convince me, you're trying to be fair now? Oh, okay. Well, guess what? You can go sleep with somebody else, right? So that's kind of what happens, right? Same thing. Like if a woman loves a man, she's gonna put him ahead of other men. You would expect that, right? And I think it's kind of strange that we act like those things don't matter, those things don't happen, or we live in some sort of pure world where people are going to treat the people that they're not intimately connected to the same as they treat people that they are intimately connected to. It don't work like that. How many of you in here, yes or no, yes or no, how many of you in here treat the person you're sleeping with right now the same as you treat a stranger? If the person you're sleeping with and a stranger were both applying for the same job, would your partner have at least a little bit of an upper hand? Yes or no? I'm not talking about business today. That's a good question. Can you help me on starting my business? We ain't talking about starting business. We're talking about financial lovemaking. This is the intersection between love and money, which is pervasive all throughout society. Everybody wants to act like it's not real, but it is real. Yes. If Alicia was, if I was a director of a movie, and I'm gonna tell you right now, if I was a director of a movie and Alicia was an actress, she would get whatever part of the movie she wanted, assuming she was qualified. I'm not going to deal with the drama of turning her down if in favor of some other chick. Ain't no woman going to allow that. Ain't no woman going to be cool with that, right? So let's just be clear. Like, people give preference to the people that they're sleeping with. I don't even know why this is like such a revolutionary idea. It's really what they call common sense. So anyway, let me read this. Thank you very much, Jemilson, Pierre Lewis, PhD. Please get my book From Extreme Poverty to Success in Amazon. Please support the Black author. Thank you for helping Black people, Dr. Boyce Watkins, to upsurge their knowledge toward financial freedom. Okay, so the book is called From Extreme Poverty to Success. It's on Amazon. Dr. Pierre Lewis, I think that's how you spell Pierre Lewis. I hope I spelled it, or Pierre Louise. I hope I said it right. But everybody look up this book, From Extreme Poverty to Success, on Amazon. Thank you for your donation. Anybody else that has something you want to promote, feel free to just do the super chat, and I'll see it, and I'll always read everything in the super chat. So let me see. Anyway, somebody said you need to be on prime television, Dr. Watkins. Your ability to see reality is amazing. Well, thank you, Gary, for the kind words. But you know what? I'm not built for TV. I should not be on TV because my show would last about 3 days. Because there's something, it's like a blessing and a curse to be able to see through the bullshit. And I'm not saying that I don't have empathy for this young lady. I feel very bad for her. But also, I think this is a reminder when every time we want to talk about Black men as predators. No Malanga brought this point up. No Malanga, Mushali Moses from Fly New Being Queen. Every time you want to talk about Black men as predators, you must realize that means you need Black men as protectors. When I'm seeing all this stuff happen, part of the reason that the R. Kellys are able to get away with predatory behavior, if that's what you believe that he did, is because you don't have the protectors in the community. Every time a Black man steps up to be a protector, y'all want to accuse him of being controlling or toxic masculinity or whatever. And it's just like, so a lot of Black men just fall back because they're like, oh, y'all got this. Okay, you women are powerful. Y'all got this. Okay, y'all go handle it. You go handle this, right? And then suddenly it's like, oh, well, he manipulated me because I'm a woman and men aren't here to protect me. Well, men would have protected you, but what the fuck are we supposed to do when every time we try to come and protect you, you tell us to mind our own goddamn business? Seriously, what do you think this young lady would have said? Like, what if a bunch of dudes from the Nation of Islam, brothers from the Nation of Islam, could take R. Kelly down in about 0.2, 0.5 seconds flat? Do you feel me? Do you hear what I'm saying? The brothers from the Nation of Islam are real men. Those real men would have walked up in there with their bow ties and their suits and whooped his ass and got those girls right out of that building in 35 seconds or less, right? They would have been able to do this. But you know what would have happened if they had done this? You know what would happen with the feminists and everybody else be running saying, oh, you're abusing women. You're toxic masculinity. You're being controlling. You're being possessive. You have no right to tell a woman what to do with her body. You're slut shaming, right? You attack the hell out of the men that step up and take control of this thing. And so we let our hands off the reins. And then when it goes wrong, you want to look at the black man like, well, y'all ain't did nothing. Well, yeah, because look, you ain't gonna let us drive the car, then fine, you drive it. And if you crash it into a tree, you are controlling the wheel. I don't know what to tell you, because you cannot tell me. Give me a yes or no, yes or no, yes or no. Do you think that there are black men in the community that would have told her little dumb 19-year-old ass, like, don't you dare go to R. Kelly's house? Like, seriously, if we were in old school days, back in the James Evans Jr. days, like from Good Times, if we had James Evans Jr. days, and that was Thelma. Thelma comes home and said, Daddy, I'm gonna go date R. Kelly, because Thelma lived in Chicago, right, during Good Times. And she said, I met a new man, his name is Robert. He's a great singer. Do you think, yes or no, do you think that James Evans Jr. would be okay with his daughter going off on a man like that? No. No. There were black men that would have gladly yanked her ass up out of her. Get your young, fast ass up out of his house. Fuck your career. You are not, no, you, I don't give a damn if you have a career or not. Don't be telling me that I'm doing this. I'm independent. I'm an independent black. No, you ain't independent for shit, because as soon as the shit don't go down, you're going to be claiming you were a victim and then asking, where were the black men at? Nobody protected me. Right? I'm sorry. It's confusing as fuck. I don't know. Tell me yes or no. Does feminism kind of confuse the shit out of you sometimes? Does it confuse you? I know as a man, you don't know what to do. You're like, okay, you want me to be assertive, or you want me to fall back? Oh, you want me to be assertive when you want me to be assertive, but you want me to fall back? You want me to open the door or not open it? But you tell me come on, man. Seriously. I'm just telling you, if the black community has stronger families and firm and clear, decisive gender roles, this R. Kelly shit never would have happened. It never would have popped off, because his ass would have been dead at Aaliyah. His ass wouldn't have lived past the age of 32. I'm telling you, if you go back old school, got Aaliyah pregnant, trying to marry a 15-year-old and all this stuff. It ain't like you just found out that this man was doing this thing. This man was running around like a predator forever, and you had people that were okay with that, right? We had a community that was overlooking this, right? So I'm just trying to tell you that, I don't know what to say. I don't know. I wish her the best. I mean, I hope that she makes her money from her story. I mean, everybody else is making money off of, like, oh, I loved R. Kelly. I defended him, but now I'm his victim. And so I would pay me too. And pay me. Everybody pay me. Me too. Pay me too. That's what they should call it, the pay me too movement, because everybody who's ever dated this man is now saying, I'm a victim too. Pay me too. And I swear to God, I only wish you could think about this. Can you imagine if somebody took your worst ex-girlfriend or worst ex-boyfriend and they became a national pariah, and you could literally just claim yourself to be a victim and get money because that person hurt your feelings? Like, can you imagine like how many people would line up and sign up for that shit? Seriously. It's silly to me. It doesn't make any sense. So anyway, let me see here. I want to say thank you, Gary Austin, for your support. I appreciate it very much. It really means a lot to me. And thank you also, Kagomi, party music DJ, disc jockey, ADOS FBA. Okay. All right. ADOS FBA. That's what I'm talking about. I'm ADOS FBA and DAS. Don't forget, descendants of Africa, the descendants of American slaves out of Louisville, Kentucky. Shout out to North Shelton, who had that movement right there on as far as protecting descendants of slaves. So anyway, I'm gonna go. And somebody says, sounds like you're excusing Kelly, says Akita. Ain't nobody excusing R. Kelly. Fuck R. Kelly. I have no concern about R. Kelly's life. Here's the thing about R. Kelly. Back in the day, in 2003, because remember, I've been in this game for a minute. I've been speaking publicly for a long time. When that first sex tape came out, when that first allegation came out with the little girl on the tape and all that, I was doing my best to tell black people, leave that man alone. Why are you listening to his music? Why do you have no respect for the community? Why are you letting these little girls get, taken by this dude? I thought it was me. I said, maybe I was born on the wrong planet. Maybe there's something wrong with me, because clearly there's something wrong with this man, but our community just loves him because he can sing. What the fuck is it about singing that makes you not realize that this man, comes off like a dude who would be very happy to rape your daughter? Like, but because he's got some swag and he's dressed nice and he can sing and he looks fly on his album covers, you forget all of that. I didn't get that. And remember this. The people that were empowering R. Kelly, who was empowering R. Kelly the most? Was it the men or was it the women? Who put the most money in R. Kelly's pocket? Was it men or was it women? Men or women? Who funded R. Kelly's sexcapades financially? Was it the men? Were the brothers the one lining up to buy his album? Or was it the women? Right? Now, this is not an indictment on all women. We know the difference between the women that have self-respect and the ones who don't. But y'all can't put this on men. Like y'all can't, y'all can't, just because I'm trying to lay out, maybe an argument for being fair, or I'm telling you what I see, right? I see a clearly disturbed human being who clearly needs therapy. He needs to be locked up. He's done some things that are illegal. I have no empathy for him. But at the same time, I see the bullshit all over the place. Like, so for example, when the Surviving R. Kelly documentary came out, I know stories about Dream Hampton, the lady that made that documentary. And these are not good stories. I know that Dream Hampton is full of shit. I know that that's why a lot of people did not participate in the documentary. And I was thankful as hell that Dave Chappelle called that shit. I was so happy. I said, thank God Dave Chappelle called her ass out in public, because she ain't the person that should have been making that documentary. That really is the pot calling the kettle black, in my opinion. That's they can make a documentary about Dream Hampton, in my opinion, because that lady, I avoided her because I was disturbed about things about her in general that I've seen that had happened with other people, right? So, so that's what I call out. But it doesn't mean, just because I'm calling it out doesn't mean you're defending R. Kelly. My God, what kind of monster would I be trying to defend, any inappropriate behavior with underage girls? I don't defend that. But also, here's another thing. I defend common sense. And I defend a woman's right to choose. And so if you defend a woman's right to choose, then you also understand that the right to choose means, and the power to choose means, that you have the responsibility of the consequences that come with that choice. I don't understand the world where you are demanding the right to choose, but relinquishing and running away from the accountability that comes with the choice that you made. Do I have anybody in this room that gets what I'm saying? Please, I would like for you guys, let's take a moment to breathe. I want you to tell me in the chat that you follow what I'm saying. This is basic logic. This is not calculus. This is saying, it's like you tell your child, my mama taught me this when I was a kid. My mama said, okay, you want to be a man? You want to make your own choices? Well, that means you get your own consequences. You can't be a man when it's time to make the choice, but become a child when it's time to deal with the consequences of that choice. That is as basic as I can get with this shit. That is simple. And if you don't understand that, then I feel sorry for you. I don't know what planet you living on, because that's the problem. That's why Wall Street, in fact, as a financial expert, I can tell you, that's why Wall Street almost fell apart. That's why the economy almost collapsed, because Wall Street bankers don't understand that. They want all the freedom, but they don't want the consequences. When things are good, they're like, we want freedom. We want to make whatever choices. We want to design complex, risky financial instruments that might corrupt the entire economy, because that's what's getting us paid. But then when it goes bad, they're like, oh, we need a bailout. We need help. Government, Obama, Mr. Obama, please. We need to. So basically, it's heads I win, tails you lose, right? That's the logic that an irresponsible person has, and I don't buy that. I don't buy any of that. What that basically says is that in this case, when somebody tells me that they're a victim of R. Kelly, it doesn't mean I don't think you're a victim. I believe you're a victim. But I am going to kind of wonder, like, did this broadside you? Like, did you have no idea? Like, did you think that he was like your pastor? Or did you think that he was, did you think that you were dating like, Barack Obama type guy? Like what did you think you were signing up for? Because it ain't like Aaliyah was a victim. Like, Aaliyah probably didn't know. He was 28, 29, she's 15. Like, she's a kid. And also he hadn't really gotten into his whole freaky thing yet, right? So maybe Aaliyah didn't know. Maybe she's a victim, right? But if you're like 20-something years old and this man been running around acting a fool since the 90s, I don't know what to tell you, man. Other than to say that we're going to just lock you in a cage because clearly you might be just too stupid to make your own decisions, but then I'd be called a sexist, right? Then that would be called oppressive, right? You'd be called oppressive, right? So I don't know. I don't know. I just don't understand. I feel like sometimes sometimes I feel like I was born on the wrong planet, because I was born on this place called common fucking sense, and apparently no one speaks that language anymore. So either way, as it pertains to this young lady, I wish her the best. If your child is thinking about dating R. Kelly, don't do it. If he promises you, even if he promises her a career, don't do it. Don't hand your kids over to R. Kelly as a mentor. That's a public service announcement for all the dumb motherfuckers out here. And that's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. All right, so do me a favor. Please hit the thumbs up button and hit the notification and subscribe button if you haven't done this yet. Please hit the thumbs up button. Tanya, I agree. Where are the parents? None of my kids will be dating R. Kelly. Not without me making it clear that that's not something I agree with. Right? Somebody said, Dr. Boyce, you're officially my crazy uncle. Yeah, well, this stuff makes you crazy. Stupidity makes me nuts. I can't take it. Sometimes I see stuff that don't make no sense and just drives me. I gotta let it out. I can't just pretend like stupidity is like intelligence. It's not the same thing. So, anyway, hit the thumbs up button, please. And also, by the way, some of you are asking about like the shirts that we have, shirts like this. If you want to get a shirt like this, you can go to wokeblacktees.com. That's woke, W-O-K-E, wokeblacktees.com. Also, last but not least, if you want to participate in some of the things we have going on as far as money and wealth and things like that. And actually, I wrote a whole book called Financial Lovemaking that talks about why people do crazy things over money, why they date people because of money, stuff like that. So it's actually on Amazon if you guys ever want to look at it. But also, we'll be doing more stuff in the Black Business School. So feel free to check out the Black Business School. It's theblackbusinessschool.com, THE, that's theblackbusinessschool.com. It doesn't cost you anything to get started. And so I want you to build your financial future. And if you're not a stock market investor yet, one of my goals is to have the majority of the people that watch me online be invested in the stock market. So today, if you haven't done it yet, just download one of the 3 major apps, Acorn, Stash, or Robinhood, or you can even get TD Ameritrade or E-Trade, and just buy you at least 1 share of stock. And then when I come back and I do a survey and I say, how many of you are invested in the stock market, yes or no, I want to see a lot of yeses. Because that's a basic way that you can actually do something that's going to be beneficial to your family. Because we get together and we talk a lot of shit and we have a lot of fun. And maybe this is entertaining, maybe this is informative to you. But at the end of the day, I want your life to be better because you listen to me. Because if I don't make your life better on some level, then I have failed. So that's my goal. That's why I'm here. That's why I do what I do. So I love you guys. Take care. Have a good day. And yes, I agree with you, Chanel. Chanel says common sense is not common. If you're the Chanel Barber that I think I know, Chanel Barber is a super smart lady. I remember when that name comes to mind, I think about a lady I knew who was really, really smart. So if that's really you, Chanel, send me a message on Facebook. I'd like to know how you've been doing. All right, guys, take care. Have a good day. Love you too. All right, peace.